G'day, g'day, g'day.
Hello. You know, my brain is still trained to hear.
I am
Rhythm
too.
Baby.
I am too. I'm going to have to see if I can bring back Baby.
Yeah.
I'm really, really missing out. Everything else is there because
Yeah.
as some of you guys may not know, as we're listening to the opening intro, I know what myself, I think Deana is the same way too. We are listening to certain parts of the intro to give us an idea of what's about to happen. Like we know 50 seconds from the mark, and you guys can notice on the timer, we get that tone of that little beat before the final animation kicks in.
Yeah.
And then within about less than 10 seconds, we hear Deana speaking out, and then we get Baby. Kind of missing the Baby part, but all the other markers are there and kind of time our routine to get prepped up to that point. Welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday night. How you guys are all doing? Hopefully you guys are good.
My cat jumped on me and ripped my earphones out.
Apparently felines are just not respectful
No.
of the timing. It's very horrible. Welcome one and all. Thanks for coming out. Again, hopefully you're home, sitting back, chilling, maybe having a beverage of your own or something else.
Yeah.
We have a fair enough amount of stuff to cover over tonight.
It's kind of boring though, this week?
It kind of boring, but it's another one of those. And so I want to.
There are some things that are concerning that are not very boring that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and so there's a fair amount of stuff that we're going to go through, and I keep popping stuff back up and down. But you know what? We can start off with something just a little bit lighter. So as you know, this weekend occurred. Friday night, Deana actually had the opportunity to go down to Toronto, join in one of the Palestinian protests there, and she actually got front row center of one particular right-wing agitator who got his ass arrested so we can grift off of it. Let's see from Deana's perspective here.
Why is he where they were praying?
Huh? Because he's trying to create drama.
I love Camilla.
Yeah.
It's so absurd.
I know, they're crap. Racist. All the Zionists are the terrorists.
It's so weird.
They're about to pray. They're about to pray. They're about to pray. They're praying. Look at this asshole, you guys. Good girl, thank you. Good, they got rid of him. Out you go, Zionists.
Don't hold back. How were you feeling about that?
What a fucking asshole. Like
he was. They're like, well, he was just going in there the question. Like, no. There was a whole crowd. Yeah, from what I think you can reflect, there's a whole crowd beside that prayer area.
If a 9-year-old could figure that shit out, like she figured that shit out right away. She was like,
or maybe she retired.
I was staying back. And then, Camilla's like, why is he going to where they are praying? And it's like, he's trying to cause drama. Boom. Block.
No, absolutely. I mean, if he was there to ask questions, there's a whole group of people that weren't praying that you can go ask questions to. They're all there. Leave the prayer circle, not the prayer circle, but
not circle, but
sorry, biggest comment. But it's the same thing. Leave the prayer area, whether it be Islamic, Christian,
and he
Jewish,
had his shoes on.
faith.
And the tarp was supposed to be, nobody's supposed to be wearing shoes on there. You're not supposed to have shoes on there. Like, he was just so disrespectful. It was disgusting. It was so disgusting. So disrespectful.
Oh, no,
what
absolutely.
you left out is me walking right in front of him, between him and the people praying.
So you didn't have that from your footage, though. That's the problem. Your footage just showed
Camilla's did. She wore the body camera. I should have given that to you. I'm gonna give it to you. You can post it later.
Yeah, we can probably do that later. Yeah, but yeah, no, have to send me all the stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is
Oh,
the
no,
original
just that.
footage I clipped.
Yeah.
I clipped from the actual event, like as you were coming home from Toronto. So that was quite an exciting time. But yeah, so I mean, they grifted off it, even though I don't believe he was charged or anything.
They just removed him, and so
Pretty
they
much.
should have. What is he going to be charged with unless he resisted being moved? It would have had nothing to do with what he was doing there. Would have had
No,
to
but they
do
still
with
try to
how
raise
he
money
dealt with
about
the
it.
police,
Yeah, they still
right?
try to raise
So,
money for it. That's what they
yeah,
do.
it's so
He goes in
fucking
there, he
dumb.
gets arrested, and then they raise money. All it is.
And it's so silly that people are so willing to throw their money at that shit. Like, oh,
It is.
God.
It absolutely is. And they still do
Mhm.
repeatedly. Do the next one. So this one is actually occurred, I believe was, oh God, I just messed up on the dates here. Yesterday? Yes. Or Monday. Sorry, this is the motion to do from the NDP.
Oh,
NDP
that's yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened there.
Hmm.
Very, very weird. We still got everybody
That
here?
was
Yeah, we got
weird.
everybody here. That was a little bit strange. Sorry about that. So, this has to do with the motion that they put forward. I'll bring up the headline here from the Times of Gaza. Canada passes a motion on Palestine tabled by the New Democratic Party, calling for an immediate ceasefire, cease of transfer and authorization of arms export to Israel, recognition of the ICC and its findings, resumption of UNRWA funding, as well. The amendment excluded the call to officially recognize the state of Palestine. So I believe that was actually removed.
It was removed.
Yeah.
They keep talking about a two-state solution, but they won't recognize the state.
That would be, yeah.
It's so fucking dumb.
We want to recognize it, but we need a two-state solution, but it's not there, so we're not going to recognize it.
And just so you know, the cease of arms to Israel is only like starting now. Yep. Every dollar that was already promised to Israel, every weapon that was already promised to them, they're still going to get $28 million of our tax dollars, because that was promised before this resolution on Monday passed. So that's still an annual amount, more than what we've ever given to Israel in any year since they started tracking. Yeah. So fuck the Liberals. Fuck Justin Trudeau. I am so pissed.
Understandably so.
We're not done protesting.
No. This is a step forward, but the other thing too is, I don't know what the motion carries. I mean, like, does the motion mandate them to this, or the motion is just going to be, yeah, we're going to discuss this some more, because it's just a motion.
I don't know.
Yeah. So honestly, if anybody here is got
you know comments, what it did do? It let us hear the fucking garbage that comes out of their mouths. And it also lets you hear the heroes who have no problem standing up and saying the fucking truth. And like,
well, one of them is Heather McPherson. Like, she had a big speech. Mm-hmm. In fact, here's her speech.
This month, the UN warned that all arms exports to Israel must stop immediately. And they specifically called out Canada for its military trade with Israel. The NDP has been calling for this for years, even prior to October 7th. And this latest war on Gaza, because of very serious human rights abuses throughout Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. The minister has an obligation under the Arms Trade Treaty to not approve export permits for military goods or technologies where there is a substantial risk of human rights abuses. Mr. Speaker, this is Canadian law. Over the past decade, the NDP is the only party that has called to reform Canada's arms export system, and yet the Liberals do nothing. Last week, a 13-year-old boy was shot to death in East Jerusalem after lighting fireworks. In a moment of joy and play, this child was killed. And the Israeli Minister of National Security, Ben-Gvir, the same minister who was arming extremist settlers with assault rifles, saluted the officer who killed this child. Wow. Hundreds of thousands of Canadians have demanded the government of Canada impose an arms embargo on Israel. How can Canada continue to engage in the kind of trade while children continue to be killed and extremist ministers of Netanyahu's government encourage this violence? And of course, Canada must do more to end the illegal arms smuggling to Hamas and other groups that threaten peace and security. We've called out Canada to do this, to stop this. No, not just for Hamas, not just for Haiti, but for the Sahel, for other regions in the world where arms are ending up in the hands of people who are terrorizing civilians.
Yep.
It's true. I mean, we've seen what's going on over there. And the fact that we are aiding in this, we have the ability to at least start adding pressure, not only from us decreasing our funding, as well as individuals also, embargoing companies that are dealing with Israel. We need to continue. And we've got, and this is kind of nice in regards to starting to see countries to come in. We're starting to see messaging from countries like Canada. We already have South Africa. Even I saw a speech from Malaysian Prime Minister.
There was also, the
Malaysian
Lebanese
Prime Minister.
ambassador too. Yeah, ambassador.
So there's more nations starting to speak up, which is great. But we need more.
The way that this is going to end, so the money has already been promised. The arms have been promised. The way that this is going to end, or we're going to stop this from happening, is that unions start shutting it down. People start shutting it down. No business as usual. Look what's happening in all these different countries. In Italy, that they're not loading the docks. Like, the workers have said no. So that's happening in Spain, I think, as well too. Yeah. The people are the ones who are not letting the governments get away with sending off weapons to kill fucking children and women and entire cities, entire generations of families. It's the people. So we're all going to have to fucking put in the work.
We are, because right now they're not going to do anything.
We're not done. We have to keep getting bigger and bigger and shutting this shit down.
Well, it's like I've said before. They're not going to change unless it's in their interest to change. Unless they're losing something.
They're not going to change unless the people say that they're going to change.
Yeah. The people can say, stop sending money or we stop voting for you. They might get some incentive.
Well, that might be okay, but that's like a whole 2 years away, and we want the killing to stop now. And so we're not going to be okay with 28 million this year.
Well, and so
one of the most powerful armies in the fucking world to kill children and women.
This is where the U.S. might help a little bit. Sorry, this is where the system in the U.S. might help a little bit, but unfortunately, the U.S. might be a bit of a problem because the ones giving the money are also the ones profiting from the war because it's their arms being sold. But again, what we're doing in regards to boycotting companies causes corporate pressure to give pressure to politicians.
Boycotts work.
Boycotts do work.
They work. McDonald's is hurting. Starbucks is hurting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We just can't give up. We can't stop.
Hurting. Puma had to reverse course. because they were hurting fucking works.
It does, especially if it's in a market. If the market that they're selling to is particularly pro-Palestine, it's going to affect them hard. Starbucks is going to be affecting them hard. They tend to be a lot more, a lot of people more like middle class or higher who are going to be aware of what the situation going on. So it's going to be a bit of a mix, but no, they're going to be aware. So the mix, but still good news. Still more to be done, as you're right.
So much
But
more to be done.
Still need to enjoy the little wins. It was motivation. That was a lot. Our souls got completely crushed.
My soul is crushed.
Speaking of which, now we move over to Convoy and the mix.
For laughs.
Yeah. On to something lighter.
If you guys want to laugh, we have some funny shit for you.
So the rest now goes into the Convoy stuff. And we're going to start off with some of the plans from April 1st. And so let's go check in with Ron. Ron seems to always know what's going on. So, Ron, what you doing?
But the interprovincial highways, yeah, that's a go. And there'll be one lane open on east and westbound lanes. It'll be like driving through a construction zone, and we're going to be staying for as long as it takes. As long as it takes. So it's not a one-day event. It's not a two-day event. Well, it could be 2 days if our narcissistic leader decides to drop the carbon tax completely. We'll go from there. But the stand is going to take place on April 1st at our interprovincial borders. And that's it. So.
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes.
The exact words I believe he used at the STC convoy. We're going to be here as long as it takes.
Do you know? Yeah. No, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Sorry.
No, not you. It's not you.
Ron. Ron, isn't it?
No. Ron's an idiot. Don't worry about it. I have to start writing things down. Thoughts on the brain.
I might be having my pickle juice. He is having something more magical. But where was I? Christ, now it's spreading.
We're talking about Ron. Fucking see how boring you are, Ron. We've already forgotten about you, man. We just fucking played the video and then poof, like gone.
So at first, I mean, when we first heard about this April 1st thing, they were talking about like, yeah, we're going to shut down these things and it's going to be all shut down and the roads going to be closed. Now he's talking about it's going to be a one lane shutdown where we're going to be letting people go through, but it's going to be like a construction zone. They're also talking about doing this on the Trans-Canada. I'm like, you realize this is a danger. Like, this is going to cause all sorts of problems. This is definitely going to cause police problems. You have a minimum 60. Like, the police will waive that if you're like wrecked, because that's it. Aside from that, you're parked in the middle of the road, or if you're like doing something stupid in the middle of the road, they'll arrest your ass because you're a danger to yourself and others. Like, that's just it. And I mean, like, slowing down vehicles, like, and again, unless you're gonna be going up there with about 1,000 people, maybe you have a chance.
Yeah.
But based on STC convoy, I don't think you're rolling with those numbers, bud.
They're not rolling with those. This is what I was going to say. They want to fight the carbon tax. And the thing is like 80% of people in Canada are beneficiaries to the carbon tax. You're not going to get the numbers. Once again, you're in the fringe minority. 80% of Canadians are benefiting from the carbon tax because
yep.
So
absolutely, most of us are, and it's exactly they're just.
Yeah, you're not going to get the numbers. Fucking shut up now. Like every time you guys try to come up with something, it doesn't work. We're going to talk about another one that didn't work, Ron. fucking idiot.
Yeah, look at that. Save the Children's Convoy. How'd that work out for you guys?
Well, damn.
So I also got somebody else here, which is somebody I wasn't tough. Just found out. Gentleman by the name of Jeremy Gibson from ACU Media. Apparently, he's got a secret plan for April 1st. This one.
Does it involve NIH? Nothing gets more secret than NIH.
Oh.
April 1st.
That's I'm gonna let you just just enjoy this first. And even before after this, I'm gonna let you enjoy it a little bit more after. You'll understand.
This morning we did a live. I'm gonna post it on here soon. We literally showed the proof and are sending people PDF files with the Constitution, the oaths of a police officer. Because with over 50% of the populace, the premiers have invoked the Constitution by standing up. So for April 1st, protest on the borders, the premiers have your back. The Constitution has your back. And in fact,
oh my,
any officer arresting you would be breaking the Constitution. That means they lose their badge.
Oh,
you're gonna need these documents, and you're gonna make sure you're protesting in a province where a premier has stood up. Let's go, Canada.
Didn't they try that already at the convoy? Like, I'm pretty sure the original convoy, everybody was running around with their Bill of Rights and all that shit. Remember?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No. Again, this is
they
all.
had a fucking vaccine exemption passport. I have pictures of one. You know why?
This is all sovereign citizen shit.
Yeah.
So how do I interpret this? Well, he says, if you send your email address to him, he'll email you the document, and then you can download PDF. Now, I didn't feel like sending him mine because why would I? But it's okay. I did watch the live stream. I didn't clip the live stream because it was about 20 minutes long, and it was just a lot of weird-ass rambling.
Yeah.
But I got some important things from it.
Oh.
Like screenshots of the documents.
He wants to amend it.
So this, when he was talking about this, and he was talking about that the premiers are standing up, because that there's 7 premiers of conservatives, he considers them standing up, and so they're standing up, and somehow that allows your protests to be protected in the province where one of these premiers are. And he's claiming that this amendment procedure for the Constitution is them standing up. I'm like, you clearly don't understand anything in regards to anything you're looking at right now. Because it's true, there is the whole thing about the amendment of the Constitution, but it has nothing to do about you protesting at all.
I can tell you one thing's for sure. After the POEC and the whole Emergencies Act and everybody listening through that, Doug Ford would not let it happen again. He wouldn't be able to and get away with it this time.
Oh,
because every fucking person knows that he is the number one failure of the entire thing.
Oh, but this guy's got more.
Oh God.
There's more.
There's more.
There's more. Oh, wait. There's more. By now, you can get the bottom half of this page where he's talking about the Great Seal of Canada, where resolutions by the Senate and the House Commons, resolutions of again, there's talking about legislation, like passing legislation to amend the Constitution. It has nothing to do with your protection in a protest from being arrested.
This is the type of person who thinks that every decision that is made on behalf of a province or country has to run through the citizens first.
Yeah.
Like this is I've seen these types of people in housing co-ops too. Oh no, we all have to be like the whole co-op has to make a decision about
Oh,
governance.
the
No,
whole
that's not how it
direct
works.
democracy?
Yeah, like that's direct democracy. That's what these guys are. They honestly think that everything needs to be passed through the people. They'd lose every time.
They do.
Fucking lose every time.
Well, direct democracy has already been discussed by many people, much
It's so
smarter, more patient
expensive.
than us.
It's
It's more expensive, and it's also it literally requires everybody to vote almost on at all times.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose of you voting for people to represent you is so you don't need to do that. It's so much micromanagement that people will lose interest. They're not going to understand the entire thing of what's going on.
Yeah.
So they vote for people who got their best interests at heart, and that's it. You're never gonna get people to go for democracy because I'm sorry, nobody's got time for that. We have commentators. This is why we have news, and this is why we have.
I've never seen
Politicians.
this guy before.
Me neither.
Okay.
So apparently he's
runs.
quoting something. So there, this is also.
What's his following? Like he's not.
I don't know, but I didn't check all his platforms. He's got Rumble and Telegram as well as Facebook because they do, and TikTok. There's members' rights and responsibilities. This is something they got from the National Police Federation. So this is the national organization where they somehow think this is the big gotcha, to which they have the members' rights and responsibilities of the RCMP officers, including the swearing of an officer, which is I solemnly swear that I be loyal to Canada and that I uphold the Constitution and Canada and that I will. To my
Just hold that. Just hold that frame. Just hold that frame.
Sure.
Imagine you're a police officer and some fucking dweeb holds up that piece of paper at you and tells you what? I need big glasses? Like what are you doing? It's so fucking dumb. That is like a child thought of that. That person has the maturity of a child.
He was explaining it to us, and again, I didn't clip it because it was just so much. But he was explaining it to us like this was like the super shield.
Yeah, right.
If you hold this up,
look at him.
You're safe.
He sounded like that too in the thing. He's just like,
oh yeah, that's the same thing in the other video. I'm just like this is your super shield. Here's your vibranium shield. You're like Captain America,
I
but
went
you're
to
Captain
Staples
Freedom now.
and I got photocopies. One for everyone. Where you can print it at home. Fuck off.
It's yeah. That is this is what to expect. April 1st. So April 1st is it's not next week, is it? No, it's the Monday after next week. So it's the Easter Monday. Which is not the holiday, by the way. It's the Friday, it's the holiday. Just find that out.
It's a holiday.
It's quite kind of sad. Sorry?
It's a holiday for me.
You suck. But yeah. Those are but yeah, these guys they're gonna come in, they're gonna do whatever they want to do, and I got the feeling that it's gonna be even less impressive than that.
That's why I just wanted to know what his following was, like if somebody knows how many people follow, because like I mean, even Ron can't get people out anymore. He has like a big following, but nobody fucking cares. They're just like, yeah, we love you, Ron.
Yeah.
On Facebook, but nobody's getting off their fucking asses. Like they're just like,
no, agreed, and that's exactly it. Because I mean, like, I'll be surprised if they are able to get one road shut down.
Yeah,
you know, and it's not to say that they may not do. If you get enough people in one particular area, you could do it. You could shut one road down.
Ontario's a really big province. That's all I have to say.
I mean, you know, you get some Wellington people. Wellington, you know, like Ottawa does.
The Wellington
crew
are too chicken shit. They're not doing it. They're not doing
Well,
it.
yeah, because I did see a video. Well, I didn't clip this one to prepare this one because I'm just like, who cares? But there was a video from Carl, and I don't know if it's indicative of others, but Carl was just like, he's convinced that the entire people first thing is a psyops, and we should completely steer away from it.
Mm.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it is a psyops. Smart thinking, Carl. Psyops.
True.
Yeah.
Totally a psyops.
Stay away.
Oh, thanks for the subscription, Lady Deathstrike.
Thank you.
I
I don't get the noise.
You get the noise?
No.
I get the noise.
I know.
It's all about me. But yeah. So we and they're gonna be doing this on April 1st. And by I truly don't know. Like, I don't know the size, I don't know the scale, I don't know anything, and I don't have
Happening.
I'm thinking there might be a few.
It's going to be very much like the million charges. Nothing's happening.
We're coming up to those two.
Yes, I know.
Coming up to you and the spoilers.
It's not a spoiler. Nothing happens. Nothing's happening anymore. These guys are done. Finished.
Fair.
The convoy is dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
So actually, well, we can switch that around. Okay, that case, because this I'm going to ruin shit for you. So we did have, as mentioned here, Deana McCraft announced that Million Charges for Freedom was launched, and she headed her group down to the Newfoundland's Royal Newfoundland Constabulary. A file was created. What is waiting for your complaints surrounding the criminal activities related to the COVID-19 pandemic. We at Million Charges have taken on the role of providing supporting evidence to collaborate with your independent statements and evidence. Cannot stress the importance of your story and support in regards to bringing accountability to the gross intrusions and erosions of our rights. I will go live this evening to give you an update as to how it went nationwide and how we'll proceed.
Nationwide. It'll only take me 2 seconds.
See below a self-filled complaint form with a file number to be attached. I'm assuming attached, but you know what? I like attacked. I have also included direct email for additional evidence that you may wish to provide. Let's get some of these bad guys in jail, shall we?
Heart emoji.
Here's a list of the crimes with the criminal codes for you to review. Google Drive here. Farm complaint here. File number 2024-14890. Ooh. Gives me an idea later on. So.
They're all nuts.
Yeah. She and her team, and from what I've heard reports of, from Imhotep, the Mummy PhD, even guess who the only person currently pestering police in St. John's with another baseless complaint is. Hint, he wrote her name in big letters at the top middle of the whiteboard.
All arrows point to me. I'm right.
Well, it's the whiteboard where she was pointing out she was the team leader.
That.
So.
She was like, she assigned herself as the queen bee.
She did. She did have a video that she did, and it looks like it was from her car. So this was a video she did in regards to before going into the station. So I did clip it because it's about 30 minutes or pretty long, but I wanted to give you guys a good sense of what going through some of her videos feel like from my perspective.
I've already done that once.
Yeah.
Good morning, friends, here in St. John's, Newfoundland. It is Dana, aka Raven, here, giving you an update as to the 1 Million Charges event that is kicking off from coast to coast today in Canada. Just for the people here in Newfoundland, I just want to let you know how you guys can participate. We're getting ready now to go in and open the file for all of the criminal investigations that are to come in weeks and months. The RNC has created a independent file for everybody that has anything that they would like to submit in regards to mandates, misinformation, disinformation, criminal negligence causing bodily harm, fraudulent use of the PCR test, the fraudulent mandates. We're going to lose our bodily autonomy. Currently, we have 40 million people in this country that have been a victim of a crime. Then we have the misinformation and disinformation and incitement of hatred from the CBC, NTB, for all of you folks that are vaccine injured, whether you've had onset of diabetes, whether you're suffering from autoimmune diseases, heart attacks, strokes, brain bleeds. So what we're trying to do here is to be able to educate the RNC as to the criminal activity that is happening from our provincial government, our health ministers, and nationally. SV40 is a cancer-causing agent and a cancer-causing accelerant. That has been proven. We do know that the WEF, the World Economic Forum, consistently talks about depopulation. Number one is the rollout of the 5G technology, which nobody knows what the impacts of that are. Kills birds and does a whole bunch of bad stuff. Florida Surgeon Attorney General has come out on mainstream media and said that these are bioweapons, that they have billions and billions of strands of DNA in them, and that it is toxic to humans. So thank you very much for listening. I've got to go. I appreciate you all, and I'd like for some of you to show up to court with me on the 28th to support me for standing up for your children. I'll be on live more about that in the time. Thank you very much, and take care.
Okay. Does she know? Does she fucking know that absolutely everything that is living is made up of its own DNA? And so whatever we eat, we're eating its DNA. Like, it's toxic. What the fuck is wrong with this person? What is wrong with her? And why are they putting DNA in vaccines? What is she fucking talking about?
They hear mRNA.
But it's not the same thing.
I know. I know. You know. But they think they have mRNA. Because again, you're right.
They're thinking of RNA.
I enjoy steak.
Yes.
Exactly. I enjoy steak. I enjoy chicken. Yeah, I know you enjoy chicken, steak. Less pork for you. I'll take the pork. But the most common thing about all these things are they're animal products with DNA. Guess what? Vegetable plant also has DNA.
Exactly.
Most things we consume have DNA in them. With exceptions of things like salt, water.
Yeah, because those are not living.
Exactly. Those are
Fish,
basic elements.
Whatever. All of
They're
it.
basic chemicals.
Yeah.
We'll call it that. Just to mess with them some more. Anyways.
There's molecules everywhere. Not the molecules.
Sure. We consume DNA all the time. Not going to change you. It's
when you're kissing your boyfriend,
DNA works.
Or girlfriend or partner, but I'm talking to Dana, you're swapping DNA. Like when you swallow, you're swapping DNA.
It's just it's painful to listen to because it's just like
she needs a timeout. And oh yeah, so we're talking about this, and one of the things she said, and she says it in all of her lives,
a lot of things,
is that she thinks that they need to educate people. What qualifications do you have exactly, and what are you trying to educate the people on? Like, she's nuts. And
I'm afraid of her near the children.
Stay the fuck away from the children, for sure. Yes.
Like, I'm like, that she shouldn't be close to the children.
No.
I think there's a Milky there is missing. Yeah, I think she does need to log off. Um, she needs a timeout. It's not a good thing right now. She's had too much internet. She's had too much going down the rabbit hole.
Kenny, put down the phone. You've had too much internet.
Yeah, exactly. Starting to be a little, I think getting a little bit internety loopy now. It's not a
She
good
says
look.
the exact same thing in every single one of her lives. It's just a different initiative.
Mhm.
And it's like, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention, but I would have to think that her following is getting smaller and smaller. Like
So
these people, like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, fool me like 50 times. Come on, you guys.
I'm not. I don't think our following is dropping because that's just not what social media tends to do. It's rare for people to unfollow unless the person does this. They're gonna do it out of being upset at somebody, but not out of boredom, like, and they're moving on. They may after a certain frustration and whatnot, and that
I-
might start doing that too. But I think she's gonna have less response as a lot of these guys are doing. As we were just talking about
Well,
Ron.
yeah, she was by herself. She
was
was
by
the only.
She was by herself. Ron is not commanding as many people there.
Mm.
STC Convoy was flopping. Like, these things are just not.
Nobody showed up in Ottawa. Not one.
Yeah, I mean, the February 17th, the last the reunion, like, you had some people show up there, but it wasn't as big as the year before.
Yeah.
They're just
Oh,
not caring anymore.
I know what I should have gotten a clip of. Oh, we went to Parliament and Brian Mulrooney was lying in state.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
They had blocked off so many streets thinking it
Mhm.
was going to be big. There was hardly anybody there. I should have gotten a clip. Yeah. It was like, and then they just had this big ass platform with the media and stuff in the center of Wellington. The crowd didn't even go like near that. Like the lineup there was probably, I'd say, at any given time, maybe 70 people in line. They were like, I think, thinking it was going to be massive. Nothing.
The vaccines baby is coming that the media said was, or the news was saying is about 1,000 people. And it
That's-
might have been 1,000 people over the span of the day.
Yeah, it's over 2 days. Did they count today? Because it was today as well. Right?
So 1,000
wait.
people over 24
No, it
hours.
was Monday. No, wait. I'm all confused now. I'm discombobulated. Was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday and today.
Ziggy's mentioning that it was done by around 1:30.
Okay, so 1,000 people for 2 days. That's like,
It's not very much.
no.
I know there was a fair amount for
There was a school.
Harriet Trudeau's.
There was a school trip, like a field trip one.
Weird field trip to have. Just putting that out
I
there.
don't know if you're in a politics class or something. They look like they were maybe grade 11, grade 12, I think. I don't know.
Fair enough. Still, to me, I'm like,
Maybe it was university. I don't know.
grade 11, grade 12, they wouldn't even known who he is except for the history books.
Oh, no, I do know because it was on the back of their sweatshirts, and I complained about how schools advertise their kids what schools they go to, but I get why they're wearing the same thing.
Was it a private school?
Maybe. I don't know.
You remember the name of it?
I didn't look it up. I don't know. Starts with
Did
an
it start
A.
as in like Ashbury?
No, definitely not. I would have remembered Ashbury. Yeah.
For those who are listening in, Ashbury is a private school located in Ottawa. One that's renowned for
A lot.
asking a lot of money.
Yeah, but they're also like top in sports and a lot of their sports programs. And I mean, yeah, I think all schools should have that, whatever.
I have my opinions.
Yeah. I just know that Brookfield High School beat them in rugby and my son was the captain, and they were undefeated for 8 years. Just gonna say that. That was
Proud
a great
mommy.
game. It was a fucking great game.
Proud mommy.
Proud mama.
Proud mama.
Altario, yeah. I think so, Ziggy. I think you're right.
Don't know Altario. But I do know Westlock. Westlock, Alberta. So this is more of a smaller feel-good story. Westlock, Alberta, as we all know, the town voted to ban all pride symbols on all government services. There was also a small story that came out, I think it was yesterday, where the city passed it. But listening to the city councilors, you can hear all of them, the mayor, were not crazy about doing it, but because it was done by referendum, they're pushing it through because it's part of, that's what they were mandated by the people to do. So, but during that time, the groups, they were, they decided to hold a party there in support of the two LGBTQIA plus community. And as the article states, hundreds of Albertans from Edmonton, Red Deer, Westlock, and surrounding communities were out in show of love and support for the town of Westlock and its two LGBTQIA plus community. March 17th, during a 3-hour pop-up party. The event was co-organized by Pride Corner on White in Edmonton and the Westlock-based Gay Straight Alliance GSA at RF Staples School, Thunder Alliance. We're holding a pop-up party in Westlock today because we learned that a lot of queer folks here aren't feeling safe, and learning they're taking down the crosswalk is kind of like an erasure of our existence, so to speak, said Pride Corner on White organizer Karen. Small crosswalk isn't hurting anyone. She noted the fantastic turnout and said that it's really important for people to show up, especially during these types of events. And there was a fair amount of people that showed up.
Nice.
So they was and not just limited to just the town, and a few people that came in. Signs of support, of course, as well as a few people of note here. Janice Irwin being on the right, and for those who may not recognize, the one on the left is actually Lisa from TikTok. So purple-haired Lisa, for those who know. So they turned out pretty well and very strong. And to be honest here, sometimes it's just something as simple as subtle as that, to make sure that community that's there still feels welcome, still know that they matter.
That's awesome.
It is. It absolutely is. I mean, it's like we said before.
Westlock wasn't that big, right? There was about 5,000 people. Is that?
It was about 5,000 people. I think it was about 1,000 to 2,000. Like it was like 5,000 people. 4,000 that was the electoral body.
Yeah, right.
And the entire election came down to 1,000 votes. So a quarter of the people showed up for this particular vote to disenfranchise a group.
Yeah.
Which was pretty horrific. Yeah, I don't know if more votes would have helped.
Yeah, who knows?
Don't know the demographic that well. But if there's a large majority there that don't believe so, it'd have been nice.
Yeah.
Now, less fun story. This brings us over to Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay had a recent incident with a drag story time that got canceled by a bomb threat. And I'm going to start off with the details by Rachel Gilmore. Here we go.
Someone called in a threat at a Thunder Bay library over the weekend because the library was holding a drag queen story time. So if you're Canadian and you're riding the whole, at least we're not the United States high horse, it's time to dismount because anti-LGBTQ hate is and has been very much here. According to the local police, because of the threat, the library had to be closed and the drag queen storytime event was canceled. Police secured the scene, determined there was no credible threat, and are now investigating. This event was intended to break down stereotypes and help kids understand and celebrate all kinds kinds of differences. That's according to a statement released by local LGBTQ rights organizations. But now, because of the bomb threat, they say fear and division have been instilled in the community. And a chilling message has been sent that, quote, spaces of inclusion and celebration can be threatened. The advocates also called on politicians to stop fueling violence and intimidation against the LGBTQ community. It's not the first time this call has been issued. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has had his rhetoric condemned by prominent LGBTQ rights organizations and has faced calls to apologize. He hasn't done that and continues to ramp up his anti-trans rhetoric. Meanwhile, over in Alberta, a prominent ally to the premier tweeted a picture of a pride flag being burned. The premier hasn't acknowledged this, but she has moved forward with anti-trans policies that AGAL Canada slammed as draconian. Last month, I interviewed the widely respected extremism researcher Amarnath Amarasingam, and he told me this anti-LGBTQ hatred is, quote, the culture war battleground topic that is going to be with us for some time in Canada. And with each passing day, he's proven right again and again. What do you think of all this?
Yeah. She's awesome. If you're not following her, you need to follow her. I know we have a few people watching. That's Rachel Gilmore.
So what's interesting about this is, now this was horrible, and the fact that they were forced to cancel was terrible. And again, we've seen similar kinds of threats and whatnot. I believe there was one or two others. I can't recall off the top of my head, but last year that I remember that got canceled because of threats of some sort.
Brockville,
Mhm.
something happened there.
Brockville
Anyway,
was one.
yeah. I know
there's
Betty
also one
Baker
out west.
canceled Peterborough 1 week.
Did she?
At the beginning. Yeah,
Mm.
that's why. Yeah, like when she had first planned on doing it, I think. Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I also recall there was maybe another one that was out west somewhere. But yeah,
Yeah.
so there's been some of these, but now this one's a little bit more extreme. So there was,
It's
there's
super
been a bit of
extreme.
those.
Who the fuck calls in a bomb threat? Like, it's just so stupid.
So what gets even more messed up about this, and it's kind of frustrating, is something that Faye pointed out, and I kind of missed this note, and I even apologized to Faye and everybody else because I missed this. But Faye's message on this one is, where's the media coverage on this?
Mm-hmm.
Where are the expressions of concern and solidarity from politicians of all stripes? And I said, well, there was some coverage because there was a couple of news articles, but unfortunately there was like a local one and a CBC one and whatnot. And I didn't quite understand that until Rachel Gilmore points out. It says, now, how is it possible that there's a bomb threat that disrupted a drag story, Queen Story Time, thank you, Magic Hand, in Canada, and it's not being widely condemned and reported on the national news? It's really heartbreaking. And considering how much time we spent, and this was a big thing last year that was, in kind of the headlines, why isn't it? And even somebody else commented on this saying like, well, there's some coverage because they did a caption of the Google search. I saw those, and those the same. There's only 3 articles, and exactly to Rachel's points, like there's 3 articles and they're local. Like it's a local CBC article and 2 other local ones. Nobody's talking about it. Like, what kind of message is that?
It's
fact
the
it's
message
buried
that
and gone.
don't you dare dress up as Spider-Man and climb things because you'll get called out on that. When there's actual fucking nail gun terrorists or bomb threats being called in, mum's the word.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked up.
Absolutely right.
It's fucked up.
It's absolutely fucked up. It's like they were more concerned about somebody climbing a building,
right,
than anything else.
Scaffolding.
It's yeah, scaffolding.
Scaffolding.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they climbed scaffolding, and then they made up additional stories that weren't true. Like nobody went to the hospital, nobody harassed the patients, nobody did anything like that.
Yeah. And then you had everybody, like even Jagmeet Singh. I was just like, you stupid idiot.
But
Like,
nobody talked about, again, nobody talked about
nothing.
the nail gunman.
And the 4 other Zionist assaults crazies kicking a woman in a pelvis, like the violence coming from them and the
I totally agree.
politicians.
Yeah, I totally agree. The only one, like, I draw the attention to the nail gunman because I'm like, you know what? We could see the ones being kind of overshadowed by the guy with a nail gun.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, I have to explain this to you. There's the video, there's
Yeah.
the headlines, there's the multi-view videos of a guy with a nail gun. Nothing. Crickets. Oh, wait.
Crickets are even way louder than what the politicians are given.
Yeah. Or, nothing from that. And then bomb threat at a drag story time where it's forced to
Where
shut down.
children are going.
Yeah.
You're
And
like, God.
statement from the national news, statement from the politicians.
Yeah. Like, it's fucked up what's happening in Canada right now, and it's the same groups of people that are doing it to us. So we need to fucking like deal with this.
Yeah.
It's the same groups.
It is. And there's an overlap for sure. There's definitely an overlap between with the two groups, but it's still, the enforcement is not equal. And some pretty egregious stuff is overlooked, while stuff that's not even a thing, that's fine. No big deal. Nobody got
Children's
hurt.
Vaccines Baby said it was in a children's store.
It was held at a children's store? Oh, I think she means one of the previous things that we were discussing there, but one of the other cancellations was a children's store. I think is what she means.
Okay. Well, still, for a bomb threat, right?
There's been all sorts of threats. Most of them at least got some responses from, but it's the fact there's some of this stuff is just not getting responses anymore. It's like, we're just tired of hearing about it, so we're just going to ignore it now. That's the messaging now.
Yeah, Betty Baker's first story time was canceled. Yes, and that's why we started going to defend.
Okay. Yeah.
That
I think that's Betty Baker's is also, and I think that what they're saying is that it was also moved from a toy store or children's store to the library. That's when we ended up going, because we were always in front of the library.
Yes, we were.
Mm-hmm. So, one's a little bit out of order because, you know what? I'm going to end with that one. So before we go on, we'll continue and change around the order because I get to do that. Is because this changed very well with sort of the rising craziness, because you got bomb threats going off there, but if you go over to Kelowna now, you got militias being going on. Guardians of Humanity training in Kelowna for when hell breaks loose. Call themselves Guardians of Humanity. They made an accidental debut at the BC Town Hall in Kelowna last week when 4 members appeared wearing uniforms with their official crest, technical gear, partial stab-proof vests, 2 of them storing handcuffs in their belts. 2 had the word security velcroed on their backs, 2 others with the words emergency response. They aren't there in any official capacity because they are still in trainings, an organizer says. Training for what? The way we see it is we think within 5 years, all hell is going to break loose. Team leader Marcus Ray told infonews.ca. Like riots in the streets, we believe that law enforcement is going to need a helping hand. There are dozens of members across BC and more starting to join in Alberta, with hundreds more expressed interest. Ray says they have mostly older professionals, 9% former police, military, security, fire, and other emergency responders. While many members, including Ray, say they are trained security officers, Others are still training and getting licensed. They are also learning first aid, getting fire training, and other certifications. So for those who aren't familiar with Marcus Ray, he's been associated with the convoy quite a bit. Convoy people tend to not be crazy about him because he's been associated with more hardcore tactics. I remember back in September when Paulo Tabor was claiming and coming down in September, people were concerned about this guy also being associated with it because he's a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, we got militias being built up in Kelowna.
They were trying to build one here in Ottawa.
What do you mean they were trying to build one here?
Training each other how to do citizens arrests.
That's not militia. That was his dumbassery. Christ.
They were going to take over Ottawa.
You talking about the Stand for These shit?
No. Talking about Johnny Rowe and his hands on Nugs, and I'm talking about Claude and his hands on me. And Gordon telling me a month earlier that I was going to be arrested.
Oh, yes. The mass arrest. Wasn't that supposed to be today?
Yesterday.
Yeah, that's right, yesterday. You're supposed to be mass arrested.
Nobody showed up.
I know.
None.
And they didn't give you a choice of handcuffs?
Nobody showed up.
I know.
No handcuffs. No zip tie.
No strip search?
No strip search. No shined up tongue rings.
As a detail I didn't need.
Hey, the cook kept saying that to me. Gordon shined up his tongue ring for you. I'm like, he did he? Why would you know that? And so I went up to him and I'm like, hey, I heard you shined your tongue ring for me. She was spending
It's a weird, yeah. It's a weird thing to shine up. It's a weird thing in general. I'm just like, you have the weirdest stories sometimes, Dina, and I really wish some of them wouldn't be shared.
With weird people.
I know, but I'm in that listing for some reason.
Yeah. She said it a number of times that day.
That you have weird people, yeah. Well,
I think she was fantasizing out loud, perhaps. It's kind of weird.
yes.
All
yes,
of it
yes.
didn't make sense. Like, why would you know that he shined his tongue ring up for me? Why are you bringing up his tongue ring to me?
Awkward, my dear.
And why
it's
are
awkward.
you picturing him shining it? Like, what is
Yeah. There was a lot to unpack there, and it's just but yeah.
I'm too
I
hyped
mean,
for this.
Yeah.
Me too, Clayton.
You and Dina both. Everybody say hello to Clayton. How you guys doing?
Hey.
But yeah, still though, to be a bit of a concern though is again we have a militia group like this. I mean, this could be nothing to phase out, but you know these guys are starting to. You know, we've seen what happens when these guys start thinking they have a little bit of power. You know, will attest. As Nugs will attest. This is not a good thing because you can start getting stupid vigilante.
Yeah, stupidity
Thoughts. Yeah, exactly. And then where's I gonna go?
They don't even
go
have their
well.
security clearance. The Guardians of the Galaxy people, whatever they called themselves there, said that these guys, they're just wearing this because they're not trained yet. You think they care that they have their thing or not? Like,
I think the group's name is Guardians of Humanity.
oh, humanity. Okay.
I need to correct you just so that Disney doesn't sue our asses. Only thing I'm doing there.
Humanity. We're the guardians of humanity. Shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. Jesus.
Galaxy. So no,
Who
it's
comes up
just
with these dumb names.
yeah. Again, it's one of those. Hopefully PC or somebody's keeping an eye on them because again, these groups sometimes just end up start doing dumb shit.
Oh, they're gonna do dumb shit. No doubt.
Yeah.
They're too close
So-
to the border. They're getting the spillover of the American
We've had this
fever.
spillover for
Virus.
a while.
I know. The virus.
All right, well, we're on to our last story. We're running a little fast, but it is what it is. Been a light week, as we've mentioned. This last one is a bit of a lighter story, but it's a little bit out of order, so I apologize for that for having done a shitty organizing job. But you get what you get. But still, this one's kind of a nice one to go on as a nice ending, and you'll understand why. This goes back to the Palestine protest, and Mr. Brian Lilly was actually confronted about his reporting.
I'm here to ask because I always find that the columns that you're always writing about constantly defame these protests. Frame them in a way that's not really accurate.
Defame them how?
That's not my job to answer. You're the author. You know exactly what
you're
doing.
saying I'm defaming them, so you should tell me how I'm defaming
You are, because you're framing them in ways that are not accurately true. You're framing them as
what
supporters,
is not true?
supporters of terrorism, supporters of Hamas.
Okay, so I've heard globalize the Intifada here. I've heard long live the Intifada here.
And what does that mean? Do you know what the Intifada translates to?
I absolutely do.
Tell me, please go ahead. I'm Syrian. I speak Arabic as my native tongue. So if you're so worried about the globalized the Intifada word,
so you're going to try and take the very literal meaning.
You're saying,
you're going to try and take the very
What?
literal. No, let me speak.
No.
You're going to.
Listen,
You've
I
asked me
you a
to
very
explain.
The literal?
question. You said, well, they're using globalized Intifada, so I'm asking you to tell me what Intifada means, because you're such a scholar.
In this.
Tell me what Intifada means.
I'm trying to tell you, you little cocksucker, but
Go
you don't
ahead.
want to hear it.
Cocksucker, better than a liar. You can come ahead and tell me what Intifada means. Because you're just a fucking ignorant white asshole who thinks that they know exactly what's going on in these protests. You're defaming these protests. You're lying.
Okay, you want to know what Intifada means?
Yes,
you want to
go
record
ahead.
me? And
Tell me. Tell me what Intifada means.
Okay, you're running away from me.
I need you to tell me what Intifada means, since you're so intelligent and so
He's the
scholarly,
one running away.
And that was the word
What does the Intifada mean? It means an uprising, but it also means killing Jews and destroying Israel.
Says who? Do you know what the first Intifada looked like?
Yes, I do.
Tell me, how did it look like? Children throwing stones at tanks and illegal settlements? Is that what it is? And do you see anything threatening anyone in these protests? Or do you just come here to frame us and don't touch me that way? Why don't you go to the other rallies and see what the fuck they were saying? All the genocidal statements, all the sexual gestures, the assault.
So, unfortunately, it's the length of the clip that we got.
Amen.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
So, that was a post that was on Radal Saza's.
I missed that.
Yeah. Apparently, it's a friend of Radal's, and fantastic job. Fantastic job. I did
Well
quote
done.
tweet that saying that because that's something that's important. Like, absolutely, when you have a chance to confront these guys, and this guy did over the top, brilliant job. Like, just no, you were writing these things and calling people out this way. Explain it. Explain what Intifada means. Come on, tell us with your words. What do you think it means?
It means uprising, but it actually means to kill all Jews. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Like, you're.
It doesn't mean
that's
that.
What a leap.
It is.
What a fucking leap.
It is. I mean, I've read about Intifada a little bit just to make sure I got some context in here. Doesn't mean anything that Brian Lilly said at all. There's, I think,
it doesn't.
no. And I think I believe there's like
I've
2
never
or
seen
3 uprisings that were over time. There's some different sort of historical information about it, but no place does it state anything anti-Semitic.
It's ridiculous. I've never seen him before. He
I've
looks
seen
very plastic. Like, I've
Mhm.
only seen his profile picture, and now I'm gonna have to look close up because I thought it was like a drawing of his face. But now that I've
Nope.
seen him in person and he looks like plastic, it's probably his real picture. I might be blocked by now though, but anyway, he's an idiot.
Yes. Yes, he is. Definitely a Zionist idiot.
Isn't he hated by the right and the left though?
So, the right's kind of a bit of a mess because he's as somebody was mentioning here,
A Doug Ford bootlicker.
GoFo
Yeah.
bootlicker is one of the best analogies for him. He's been associated with Doug Ford for a long time, and the way he's been associated with Doug Ford is
That makes sense. The way he looks like somebody who would be like a Doug Ford kind of in that circle.
it's a very close circle for him because
He's one of the 3 pigs of the animal farm for fucking sure, or he's like one of the squealers. Maybe not one of the 3 pigs, but
his wife or girlfriend or whatnot, she's on Doug Ford's staff.
oh god.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a direct line between the two of them, and he's written so many things to
Try to
to,
boost.
yes, girlfriend. Thank you, Vaccine Speed. Absolutely. So she's the girlfriend, and yeah, everything that he'll write up for Doug Ford usually, it's allegedly coming from her. Allegedly. Anyway. But yeah, it's pretty much the.
I'm so glad that person recorded the whole exchange. The whole thing.
Yes. Oh no, absolutely.
That was great. Because stupid Lily is like, you're running away from me. And I'm trying to explain it. Dude, you're the one who was running. What the fuck are you talking about? What the hell is he talking about?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's Brian. It's
Brian.
but I mean, again, it's Brian Lee, but it's also just projection these guys do. I mean, they'll go in there and they'll be like, they'll say, "Oh, we're the victim, we're the victim, we're the victim, we're the victim." Then they'll turn around and just attack, and then we're the victim again. But that's it.
Yeah, well. Oh, fucking. Anyways.
But most importantly, we need to make sure we keep adding the pressure to it. In regards to that's pretty much I think the short of everything we've seen tonight. Protesting works.
Yep.
NDP Motion is helping in regards to pressure. Need to add more pressure to get more countries to go in.
Petitions work.
Petitions work. Protests work. And hopefully
talk to your union leaders.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, confronting reporters is also going to help.
Yes. And politicians.
Mm-hmm. To get them to speak.
Yeah.
We need to start sort of amping up the volume and amping up the message to politicians, to your MPs, saying, hey. And so this is one of the good things, and this is something we can probably look into. Or, if you guys want to look into. The great thing about this particular event in regards to what occurred with the NDP is with that mandate vote, that motions vote, all those votes are recorded. Public.
Mm-hmm. So are their speeches. And if you want to rip your hair out, you should listen to the House of Commons debate. So you can hear the fucking vileness of some of these people who are representing us. They're so disgusting.
But I need to go check. Well, I also want to check
Melissa
out what
Lantsman was disgusting.
Shocker.
She's fucking gross. She is beyond gross. She spent the entire time quoting all the talking points that has been debunked ages ago. Babies in ovens, raping of women, like the whole fucking zero evidence. Zero fucking evidence of any of that stuff. 100% evidence that it's happening to Palestinian women and Palestinian children. And 100% evidence that over 13.5 thousand children have been slaughtered. Yeah, she was disgusting. Michael Chung was disgusting. The Bloc Québécois, Quebec is a mind fuck. Quebec was like, Bloc Québécois, amazing.
surprising.
It was surprising. I was just like, what? And I loved it. And he did not mince words. Full on support of the full motion that the NDP brought forward, the original motion that the NDP brought forward. Also frustrated at the fact that they could not recognize Palestine as a state. So yeah, there were some fire responses, thankfully, but there were too many. Oh, Melanie Jolie, I just wanted to no, turn it off. I can't listen to her. She was both siding the whole thing. She was just pissing everybody off, I'm sure. It was so bad. She's not even good at reading the script. It was the worst thing I'd ever heard in my life. I'm embarrassed for her. I'm embarrassed for the Liberal Party. I'm embarrassed for Canada. So bad. Yeah. So if you want to do that to yourself, you can find it online.
Or also what I'm planning on doing, which is just looking at what my MP voted and basing my actions in regards to that.
Yeah, so, this is a genocide.
In our case, our MP, find out who they voted for or which way they voted. Because that's what matters to me.
But it's not just what they voted, because the Liberals fucking watered down that resolution and allowed, first of all, didn't recognize Palestine as a state. That's massive. What a fucking disappointment.
So we keep going. We keep going.
Palestine was on the map before Israel. How can you not, even if you're fucking stupid and racist or dumb or whatever you are, how can you not acknowledge that Palestine is a state? Oh my God. That's why you can't just look at the vote. If you're fucking liberal and you didn't speak out against that, fuck you. You're off my voting list. Not that I voted for you last year anyway. And I'm definitely going to be happier voting for NDP this year or this election coming up. I hope there's an orange wave. And the
I'm interested to see, but we still have a year to go for that.
I know. I think Pierre Poilievre won't be the leader of the Conservative Party right before.
I don't know. Right now, I don't see any reason why they swap him out.
Oh, it's not that they're going to swap him out. I don't see the reason yet. I believe the reason is coming.
There's a reason for them to get swapped out? Perhaps. But it really, really sort of, I'm looking at this, I'm like, I don't see him losing his place unless something changes. Because if everything continues on course as the way it is, there's no reason for him to drop out. But if there is, then yeah, I'll be absolutely interested in seeing it.
There is.
Either way, I'm not going to say no if he gets booted out.
Yeah.
Cool. But then there could be a whole mess. And switching this close to an election point.
No, well, I think it'd be great if he made it through the election and then the Conservatives lost. And then it was like, there you go.
I'm good with that too.
Yeah.
And coming as we're getting pretty close to sort of like that line, probably about September or October, because I think that's when the election next year is supposed to be. Less than a year. Switching it out could be kind of risky. Anyways, that's it for us.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining up. I do have at least one of the images that we usually have. Don't forget, join us on Octo Activism as well as ODC. We can get some more of those graphics to come up there, as well as don't forget to join us on Friday nights at 9 o'clock for Twitter Spaces. Also, we are still collecting funds for Danny's legal defense. I even got the image of this time. As well as between now to the end of next month, any donations coming in there will be doubled up to $2,000. So please help out as much as possible. And again, anything you give will be doubled. Till then, thanks for joining us.
Good night.
Have a good night. And we should have one last thing. We do. Thanks, everybody.
I understand we have one speaker, Mr. Walter Masterson. Mr. Masterson.
A more, woke school board would see the death of a child and work to make sure it never happens again. Not this board. This board sees a dead kid and says, that's a good start because this school board signed up to protect all children. And by all children, they mean these children, not so much these children. Hate us if you want, but we're the good guys. We want to let kids be kids, and there's nothing more unnatural than a teenager experimenting with their identity. It has never happened before and should be punished. We're the good guys. We'll spit on a kid's grave, blame the parents, and tell our teenagers to hit them harder. We're the good guys. When we heard that a trans child had been beaten to death, our state senator, Tom Woods, immediately released a statement. We don't want that filth in Oklahoma. We can call children filth, even the dead ones, because, we're the good guys, right? And if we're wrong, if God doesn't want us driving off the lepers and deviants and worshiping the bankers, if our God doesn't want us casting the first stone, if our God doesn't want us loving people despite their differences, well, if we're wrong, then I guess I'll see you all in hell. Thank you.